My guest today is Tennille Amor. She is Trinidadian born but has lived all over the world, as we will hear momentarily. And she's got a new song that's destined to be a hit on Capital Media, and I'm sure it's going to be a hit, not just in Barbados and the region, but perhaps worldwide. It's a reggae thing, but we're going to come back to that in a little bit. But who exactly is Tennille Amor? Well, until this interview, I had never heard the name. So she's going to tell us a little bit about who she is, her journey, her life, and the places you've lived in and that sort of stuff. So Tennille, tell me about Tennille Amor.
Well, actually, just to clarify, I actually was not born in Trinidad. My whole family is from Trinidad.
Ah.
Aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, both my parents.
So you don't say all you?
Sometimes when I'm there, but no, I was actually born in the UK, lived all over the world, lived in Egypt, lived in Singapore, Scotland, England, and then moved to New York, and now I actually live in LA.
Yeah, Egypt. You must have been quite young when you were in Egypt.
I was young, I was there from the age of 5 to 10, but formative years and years that I really remember, you know, having that childhood there was incredible. Just growing up literally on, you know, the footsteps of the pyramids, and we used to ride horses on the weekends at the pyramids. No, you know, none of the protective gear, because it was just go brave, you know, like get on a horse and gallop in the desert, you know, at such a young age. At the pyramids, we were scuba diving at a very young age, which was amazing experiences too, just because we were in that environment and growing up in that, you know, with that as our backyard, which was really
so you had the ocean, you had the desert, you had the pyramids.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. Of all the places that you've lived in the world, you mentioned Scotland, you mentioned Singapore. I've been to some of them, but of all the places that you've lived, which one stands out for you and why?
I mean, definitely Egypt. Such an incredible place with so much history and so much, you know, as a kid, you don't realize how fortunate, I mean, we had an amazing childhood, but as an adult, reflecting back and just thinking, like, to live in such a place with so much, just rich with history and rich with so much that we got to experience at such a young age. But Trinidad was always home base, you know, because we had all of our family in Trinidad. That was the one consistent place throughout childhood, was always, you know, whenever we were in Trinidad, we had the same people that we would see, our cousins, friends, like we made our own friends over the years. So having that stability and the one place that was home, so to speak, because home was always changing. So for me, having lived in so many different places throughout my childhood exposed me to so many different cultures. And I think that really informed who I am today and what my music represents as well. The entire path of my career has very much been a result of having experienced so many different cultures and so many different types of people growing up, and so many different, you know, belief systems. You can draw on all of these. Exactly.
So tell me about your journey into music. Let's segue to that. Where did that awakening come for you?
Someone asked me that question recently, is, you know, how long have I been singing? And my response was how it's been as long as I've been songwriting, because I think the two for me have always come together, you know, like for me, the expression.
Which came first?
They came together. Like, I mean, I guess I was singing before I was songwriting, in that maybe I was like singing along to songs, but like actually singing for me was the expression of what I wanted to say through what I was writing, you know. So at 9, I started songwriting, and I remember I actually still have a songbook from that time that I can go back and look at it, and I can remember the melodies that were the song. You know, I look at the lyrics and I remember the melodies of the songs, because, you know, they're kind of etched into my being. You know what I mean? And for me, when I look back at those songs, it's interesting because I was writing about things that I still write about: racism, equality, pollution, peace, world peace. You know what I mean? Like, those were the types of things that as a child I felt
really
compelled to write about.
As a child, yeah.
As a child, yeah.
Do you think that music has been or can be a force for change to bring the world closer together in terms of more equity, if not equality, and justice.
100%, I believe that the artists are the ones who have that gift and responsibility to be able to tell stories in such a way that they can connect, sometimes even more so than the politicians or more so than those who are in power, because, you know, music, film, media, what y'all are doing, like what the platforms that we have, that in so many ways reaches people in, you know, and reaches them on a heart level, which for me I think is a lot more impactful than, yes, you can spit facts and figures at people, but if you can connect to them through you know, in a way that moves them, in a way that they look at what Bob Marley, the fact that he would get up and perform even after they shot him, he got up and did that concert that was, you know, so moving.
Within days, yeah. Within days.
Within days, you know, and taking the two politicians' hands and you know, bringing them together, like that to me is
deep.
Truly, like that's who I am. Like my music has always been that.
Your awakening, your awareness, your sensitivity is very evident, and obviously we're going to see that in your song when we play your song too as well. But you mentioned to me before we started that that consciousness, that awareness has led you in the direction where you have created your own organization to strive. So in a meaningful way, you're trying to make a difference. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I have an organization called EPIC, and it stands for
EPIC.
I see. Yeah, and it stands for Everyday People Initiating Change. Yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah,
Everyday People Initiating Change. Is there a website?
It is. It's epicthemovement.org.
Epicthemovement.org.
That's right.
We must visit that and see what. So what do you do with EPIC?
We drill water wells, and we do community growth and development in each of the villages where we drill. So it's a very bottom-up approach, very grassroots. I run the organization. Myself and my business partner Alexi Panos started the organization, but she now has, you know, she has a very busy lifestyle with kids and things, you know. So now for me, it's you know, I run the organization with, you know, our team in Tanzania. My brother Kasinda, who is not my blood brother, but might as well be because of how close we are, and you know, so that is very much the heartbeat as well of what I do. And we talk about the fact that when you give water to a community, that then ripples out and affects all other aspects of community growth and development, because the kids are now coming to school, because they come to school to collect the water. We drill in schools wherever possible. It affects the education, it affects the overall economy of the community, because women are no longer having to walk for long distances to collect dirty water. The health, of course, you know, because now they're drinking from a clean source of water as opposed to, you know, polluted or you know, water with feces or frogs, or, you know, we've seen it all. And we, you know, when we go to each new community, we actually do a walk for water with the women in the community, the women and the children in the community, to see how far they have to go, and experience it for ourselves. So we have a fellowship program where we allow people to raise money before they come out, and to see where the money is actually going in the village when they come. So
you're answering my next question, which is how do you fund it?
Yeah.
How do you fund
yes,
it?
Well, that mainly we used to do fundraisers and things like that, which is of course a very difficult thing to do, and with all the other things that that I'm doing, you know, but we figured the best way to do it would be to open it up, to have people, give them the opportunity to come out and have the experience on the ground, and then be, you know, take ownership in each of the projects where we drill, and raise money beforehand, come out, see where that money is going, and be part of the actual process.
Let's come on to the song now. Tell me about, is this your first release?
No, it's not my first release. I actually, you know, I did a lot of, initially my music was Caribbean, you know, like I have a song with Bungie Garlin. I have a song with Mr. Vegas. Shaggy was a mentor for me in New York for a while. He, you know, very generously allowed me to record at his studio in New York. And
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, I've put out a few things within the Caribbean. This is the first release in this new direction that I'm taking my music. When the pandemic hit, I went into very much like a, you know, I'm an introvert anyway, but I definitely took
Wouldn't
that
have
time. Yeah.
Wouldn't have known.
I am. This is, you know, this is a you know, beautiful conversation, so it's easy for me to connect in that way. But typically I am very much to myself, and so the pandemic allowed me to kind of get into a very creative, introverted space, and I created a bunch of new music. I have a studio in my home in LA, so Our Father's studio. So I went into kind of like just a hole of creativity, which was beautiful. And this song was one of the things that was birthed from that process. And, you know, I actually performed it for the first time at a festival that I'm the creative director of, Festival of Nations, which takes place in St. Louis, Missouri, every year. And I became the creative director of that festival. And Runckus and Royal Blue, the two artists who are on the song with me, excuse me, they were able to come and perform the song. They're from Jamaica. So amazing experience.
Well, we look forward to having your song on Capital Media. I've already forwarded it to the program director. He likes it.
Wow.
And he has the final say. So we know it's going to go into heavy rotation on Capital. And I hope you'll come back and visit with us. I feel I could chat with you for the whole day.
I know.
There's so much we haven't.
I know.
We just kind of scratched the surface. But no, this has been a fascinating chat. I wish we could have a more in-depth look next time around. And,
I would love that.
Once you're coming back, come back to Capital, and we hope that you'll listen up and hear your song as well when we play it. The name of the song again is
I Choose Love.
I Choose Love, and it's on iTunes.
Right,
it's available.
It's on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, all the places where you
find music. Yep. I Choose Love. I heard it and I connected with it instantly, and that started a whole process where we ended up here this morning. But from the moment I heard this song, I said, "Wow, this is different." So
I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for giving us that opportunity.
Thank you, babe. Yeah.
And we hope you come back and be on the red couch again.
I will. I won't wear red, but I'll be here.
Tennille Amor, listen for the song. We're going to play that song now, and also want you to listen to it on Capital Media. Listen, love it, and tag your friends, and of course go to her website and check on her platform, Epic.
So it's epicthemovement.org, and then my personal page is TennilleAmor.com.
Tennille Amor, my very special guest here on Capital Media.